Hey everyone, it's Mike here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the process of how I created this high fidelity wireframe for this DailyUI prompt. If you're not familiar with DailyUI, it's an email subscription that you can sign up to receive daily UI challenges. I'll include the link in the description below if you're interested. So without further ado, let's jump right in. For this daily UI prompt, I was given the challenge to create a user interface for a pending invitation. But before I begin designing a high fidelity version of the design challenge, I would always create a low fidelity wireframe to capture my ideas down first. So let's start off by selecting the low fidelity wireframe artboard, and then I'm going to head up to the persona toolbar and select the pixel persona. Here I'm going to use the brush tool to sketch out the low fidelity wireframe with my graphics tablet. Now I'm going to quickly sketch out the status bar and then dive right in with the rest. Here I'm going to add a back button and a title for the navigation bar. After that, I'm going to add in the main user interface elements, and on this part, I like to create a box and fill it with these diagonal lines called hatching to indicate that there will be text inside of it. Next, I'm going to add an avatar image, and basically I'm going to create a box and mark it with an X inside to indicate that it's a placeholder for a profile image. After that, I want to add some text that includes the person's name that's sending out the invitation, a small description below it, and two call to action buttons, which I will label it as CTA for now. One of the button will be for accepting the invitation, and the other one is to decline it. Then I'll add a line to separate the person sending the invite so I can add more people below it. Alright, now I'm going to speed this part of the video up and I'll check back with you shortly. Okay, I'll also include the tab bar at the bottom of the app just to fill in the space and to make it look like a legitimate app screen. So for the icons, just like the avatar, I'm going to create a box and mark it with an X. Alright, now that the low fidelity wireframe is completed, let's move on to the high fidelity wireframe. Before I begin working on the high fidelity wireframe, let's select the high fidelity artboard, and then let's go back up and change the persona back to the original one, which is called the designer persona. After that, let's go up top and select View, Studio, Assets to open up our assets library. And now I'm going to start plugging in the status bar. Then after that, I'm going to scroll down to the Assets library to find the back button and drag it onto the artboard. After that, I'm going to add in the title of the navigation bar, and now I'm going to create a circle using the ellipse tool so that we can start plugging in the profile photos of the users later on. Then I'm going to add in the user's name and description below it, followed by the call to action buttons. For this part of the video, I'm going to use a rounded rectangle to create the call to action buttons, and then I'm going to fill them with text and color. Now I'm going to use the pen tool to add a line break to separate multiple users sending out the invitations. And now we can zoom back out and copy the user invite user elements. Then I'm going to duplicate it by holding down the Option, left click and drag, or if you're on a PC, it's Alt, left click and drag. After that, I can duplicate it again by pressing the Command J on a Mac or Control J on a PC, and it will automatically duplicate the elements and space them out evenly, like so. I'm going to rename the users real quick. Now it's time to add some profile images to the placeholder circles. Let's go over to our stock palette, and if you don't have that open yet, you can find it located by going to the View, Studio, and Stock. Here you can search for stock images and use them for your concept designs and mockups. I'm going to search for portrait. Once the images are loaded, I'm going to click and drag an image over to the artboard. Then I'm going to resize it so that I can clip it to the circle shape. Once you're satisfied with the size, you can drag it under the ellipse layer until a short blue horizontal line bar will appear, and then let go. Now we have the image clipped to the circle shape. Alright, since we know how to clip an image to a shape, I'm going to speed this part of the video up and I'll check back with you shortly. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to select some icons from my asset library. I'm going to change the color and then plug them into my tab bar. Alright, so there you have it. As you can see, I started out with a low fidelity wireframe to sketch and lay out my ideas, then using it as a foundation to refine and design the high fidelity wireframe. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something from it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe for more videos like this in the near future. With that said, I'll see you next time.